by the end of this video, you're going to have a mindset which is going to get you way more out of life. And I'm not just talking about some bullshit pickup line to get more girls. This is like an entire new way of living, which 99% either don't know about or won't share because it's too valuable. And the trick is simple. Stop holding your words back. So one day I went to a uni. It wasn't my own uni. It was like a different one that was closer to my house. And I was just doing some study in the library. And so I went there looking for the library. And so I walked up and asked for directions from this girl who was walking by. And we ended up talking for a bit and then walking together. And then she said, I'm actually studying too, but I'm going to this room instead. And so I said, oh, like, I'll come with you. She said, okay, cool. Talked for a few hours, like literally sat there for a few hours, kept talking, got her number, went out with her on a date. Now, did it end up going anywhere serious? No. It ended up ending soon after. But was it a fun side quest? Absolutely. Like in an alternative universe, I opened Google Maps for directions, never talked to this girl, and just studied by myself for a few hours in silence, and then went home. Right? Like you can think this entire interaction, this going out with her, which was fun, and I don't regret it, even though it didn't go anywhere. It could have never happened if I just didn't have the courage to speak to a real person for directions instead of using my phone. And I didn't go into it thinking, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like approach a girl and pretend to ask for directions and then like follow her into where she's studying, right? It just happened by being authentic, being open to whatever happens, being spontaneous, and being confident. And so the point of this story is just to communicate like that there's so much upside to starting random conversations which you probably don't even realize or haven't experienced. Like the upside is so much larger than you think, and the downside is so much smaller. Like, firstly, the upside. In your mind, you're probably thinking, oh, yeah, it's just a stranger, we'll have some awkward chat, and then it will end. And I'll be real with you. A lot of the time, that is how it is. Most of the starting conversation with strangers, like maybe 80% of the time, you have a little chat, they seem open to talk, and that's it. But in reality, there are definitely those examples, like the one that I shared, where you decided to speak that person and that could be, your best friend for life. Like who knows, your best friend for life in an alternate reality has walked past the street right past you and it was the guy that you thought like had a cool vibe or something or looked super impressive. But he didn't say anything because, oh, I don't want to be weird. And then you never met him. You could have been like perfectly compatible, or like your future wife, the mother of your children in an alternative world. You know what I mean? Like the perfect match for you. Do you walk past you and you're like, oh yeah, like I like how she looks or whatever, but you didn't say anything. Of course, it also may not, and it just might be some random, but you don't know, right? You don't know how much other people like you, and they're just too scared to say something. And so you have to think to yourself, how many of these opportunities, how many people that could potentially have super high value in my life, do I just let walk past me on a day-to-day basis? Every single day, right? And then when you think about that, and you think about, oh, like what about if they think I'm weird? Honestly, for the downsides, I promise you, within 10 seconds of starting a conversation with someone, you'll be able to figure out, is this person interested or do they want me to leave? Or less. Usually it's less. I've got it down to maybe like 3 seconds now, 3 or 4 seconds, but I guarantee you anyone within 10 seconds will be able to tell because it's obvious. Like I don't have to make it that explicit, but people will be looking disinterested. They'll be pulling out their phone. They'll be looking down. They'll be giving you short answers. They won't ask about you. They'll be facing the other way. Like it's obvious, right? Not facing the other way, but like pointing their body the other way while looking at you. You know what I mean? It's obvious. And if they're not interested, whatever, move on. I actually made a video on an excellent strategy to overcome rejection anxiety, which you can watch. Put a link up on the screen wherever it is. The thing gets flipped. I forget which way. One of these directions. And it's this perfect like mental landmark you can use to overcome rejection anxiety and just approach everyone. And your job isn't to convince other people that aren't interested in talking to you to become interested in talking to you. I never do that because it would take forever because you have to work at it and you have to invest in them. So unless there's a really good reason that you want someone to be interested in you, just accept they're not and move on to the next person. Your job is simply to talk to people and filter through until you find someone that actually wants to talk to you, someone that's already interested in you. and take it from there. Like, if this directions girl, if she wasn't interested, bro, like, would it have gone anywhere? No, she'd probably been like, oh yeah, it's over there. You're like, oh thanks. Like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? And then move on. Like, I used to get this wrong for years. This one, and this is literally only one piece of what I now follow and what I now, the mental framework I now use to become pretty much like the ultimate socializer. And so I'm breaking down the full thing properly soon in a private course. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, there's like a pre-order thing now where you can get a crazy discount. It's the first link in the description, so check that out. And you'll have access to like the entire framework as well as like a bunch of other bonuses which are on the page. And that girl, she was just one example, the directions one. This has happened time and time again for me over the last few months, just from starting organic conversations, gauging the person's interest, and then seeing where it goes, being open to it. So the strategy is simple. Whenever you have a thought of something you should say to someone, say it. It can be super random. Like literally a couple days ago, I was sat in like a practical class at uni, and there was some girl on my table, and she was wearing like a hoodie from my university, like wearing the university merch. And so I literally just said, don't tell me you actually bought that. Because that was my genuine thought. It's like, why the fuck would you wear merchandise of your own university on your shirt? Like, I know in America it's a thing, but if you're watching this in like Australia, you'd understand no one does that. It's just weird. And then she ended up receiving it super well, was very receptive, was very like smiley, and it turned into like a really good connection. And I could have easily just let it go, put it on, and said nothing, and I would never have known. But that's the point. You don't know until you try it. You don't know until you say it, until you start the conversation. And like I said, it was a really good connection, and there was a lot of reciprocity there, like with the directions one. And I just need to stress, rejection and disinterest is part of the process. Many times I'll start a chat, and they look bored, disinterested, etc. Though you can tell that I can tell that they're not interested, they're not engaged, and that's fine. I'll just say, okay, nice meeting you. Walk off. It's awkward for like max 2 seconds in your head, and then life goes on. You don't care because they're just some chick or some dude, right? Like, who cares? So I give you an encouragement to try this next week or next day, whenever you're watching this. Just experiment taking those risks and see where the connection takes you. Personally, I think you'll be completely surprised with where the connection goes and what major connections can come out of seemingly minor moments. And yeah, that's about all I have to say on this topic. If this video was interesting for you, good. Happy you're still watching. Appreciate you. And I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.